Hey everyone, checking back in after the dump. Of course, right after I put out the video, we dumped yesterday. My message to the bulls did not receive well, was not received well. And we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, BCH, and ZRX was just announced that it's going to be listed on Coinbase. So obviously getting a pump in relation to that. Generally, we will see a pump and then a sell the news scenario when it is actually beginning trading on Coinbase. So be aware of that fact. So an all-out dump on Bitcoin. The bears went for the weekly bear break of this equilibrium. And this is the second time where technically they've broken a support level, but we don't get a ton of follow-through. So we're still holding 6,000. We did break to the lowest price that we've seen here in the past couple of months. And it's important these days to specify which exchange you're talking about because there's discrepancy on these exchanges. And that's because there's discrepancy between USD and USDT Tether. And also, in my opinion, some of the arbitrage bots are probably turned off while we're in this choppy range. But I think the biggest discrepancy is between Tether and that US dollar price, which is fluctuating a little bit more these days. So the exchanges are a little bit off in terms of their pricing, related to each other, that is. So support is still 6,000 psychological and 5,900. We did break to a lower low here. As far as I'm concerned now, we have a new weekly lower high. And our weekly lower high is 68.23. So that's the new level for the bulls to break the weekly lower high pattern. And as long as we don't see follow through and break below 6,000 with a lot of bearish follow through in volume, that is ideal. But obviously the bears have full control. And that's been the theme of the videos for the last couple of days. Bears are entirely comfortable. They're comfortable on the 4-hour, the daily. There's no reason for them to have any pressure put on them. And then obviously we see the day like yesterday with the all-out dump. And the question now is, do we see tightening ranges, daily inside bars, and then bear break below 6,000? For me, it's not game over for the bulls short term until we break 5,900 and 5,777. Once those levels break, okay, the bears absolutely win on this weekly chart. But as long as these bulls defend 6,000, they still have a possibility here. So right now we're seeing a delayed reaction where gold is responding to market weakness today. And obviously Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, nothing to do related to these markets right now and no correlation whatsoever as far as I'm concerned. So the bounce that's trying to play out right now, we just had a bear break and it attempted to be a bull trap and it's giving us a 15-minute equilibrium. So if we look at the hourly chart, we have the low, the high of the bounce rejected from exponential resistance. Here's our higher low of support that's at 61.85 and the bulls need to see a break of 62.35 and 62.60 in order to see any continuation. We're currently rejecting from the hourly exponential resistance. The 4-hour time frame exponential resistance is what we will look to if we get over the hourly exponential resistance, and the 15-minute time frame has the most clarity if you're looking for more details. So that's the range that we're watching into this afternoon, and we'll see if this bounce gets any follow through. Keeping in mind that, yes, the bears have absolute full control, and at this point, the 4-hour time frame will set a lower high unless there's news behind this, any move, and 65.50 is the level, so anything under 65.50 will be a lower high, and that's currently $324 away, $334 away. That's a long ways away. So again, bears are entirely comfortable. If I'm in a position and profitable from up here, I'm not doing anything, not exiting any positions on a bounce that just sets a lower high. So ETH on the daily, complete dump down, broke a bunch of supports. Support of 192.20 is still holding, and then 167. And look where we bounced off of, 192.50. So previous support did hold in this instance. The bounce that we're seeing right now, hourly exponential resistance, and the tight range is 197.43 to 201.10, and resistance after that is 203.51. 15-minute time frame, there's our tightening range to be watching for the rest of the day. And it's the same thing as Bitcoin in terms of the setup, although the weekly time frame, bear flag is absolutely the most likely scenario. Let's get rid of all of these lines. So the bear flag is the most likely scenario at this point. 167 is that key support. Bulls have to hold 167 and then break 255 to change this weekly downtrend. And that needs a 25-28% move from where we stand right now. So bears have control of ETH. And again, we're watching hourly exponential resistances. If we break those levels with bounce continuation, we zoom out to the 4-hour. That's not going to do anything except set a lower high. And we'll watch the 4-hour exponential resistances from here as well. XRP, bear flag confirmed on the daily. Support was down here that had broken now, 43.55. This is the lowest price we've seen since the pump. We are slowly giving this move back, so we didn't see an all-out dump, but we're slowly fading, and the bears are following through with high bear volume. Weekly inside bar bear break occurred at 467, and just like that, down almost 20% from the inside bar bear break signal on this weekly time frame. Bounce attempt, hourly exponential resistance being tested. Tight range on the 15-minute time frame is 4056 to 41562. If that resistance breaks, 4168 is the next level. And there it is on the 15-minute time frame. Tightening range just like everybody else, but Ripple, well, we are going to form a weekly higher low. Anything above 252 is a higher low. So equilibrium is the most likely setup at this point because we have our high, have not set the low of the pullback yet, but when we do, it's a significant enough pullback that we will be looking for an equilibrium and a lower high to form once that higher low does form. So different setup on the weekly time frame than anybody else, but as far as the 15-minute, hourly, 4-hour is concerned, everybody's strongly correlated after all that action that we did see yesterday. BCH USD, I made my first crypto profit in about 6 weeks or so. That's just a very rough estimation, but I traded BCH on this dump yesterday, and I entered at about 446, and I exited in the low 450s, and my play was based off of Bitcoin. So I was looking at the dump on the hourly time frame for BCH, and I said, all right, Bitcoin's getting close to 6,000. I entered an initial 25% position on BCH just in case Bitcoin held 6,000, which it ended up doing. And then I would have added to that position on a break of 6,000, anticipating the potential of a 6,000 climax flush and then oversold bounce, because the RSI levels on the hourly and everything below the hourly was just rock bottom on this Bitcoin dump yesterday. So that was my slow and cautious plan of entering, and I chose BCH due to the magnitude of the dump, and there was certainly enough dollar volume for me to play it. So got that flip. Nice to get those profits again. It's been a long time in the cryptocurrency space since I have flipped bullish for some profit, but got it yesterday. So the bounce attempt here as well. First, let's look at the daily. So the daily took out supports. We still have a couple support levels to be watching of 425 and 408.07. 4-hour time frame. Any bounce will just set a lower high. Hourly time frame, exponential resistance. I haven't even looked at these charts, and I already know what it's going to be because everybody's so significantly correlated. 15-minute time frame, this is the range that we're watching. Equilibrium is forming. I would say right now 441.99 to 446.93 is the tight range. We're tighter here on BCH than most of the names that we've looked at so far, so there is potential that the 15-minute time frame could signal first on BCH before it does on these other coins, and that might be a signal because ETH on the 4-hour time frame before the dump yesterday, the low of the dump at that point broke first on ETH, and in the chat room I even had time to go and post and say, you know, ETH breaking bearish, potential this is a lead signal that Bitcoin's going to break bearish as well, and then of course it followed through in a big way. ZRX USD, here's this pump. This is the daily chart, tight range breaking bullish after a bear break. So obviously a news pump. The weekly time frame is not changing the trend. We have broken the lower highs, but to confirm the trend change, we're going to need a higher low and then continuation to higher highs. As far as the short term goes, we're very overextended. We're just starting consolidation. It looks like a 5-minute bull flag is attempting to form. I would be using the shorter term time frames due to the volatility. This is very healthy consolidation at this point. 8346 is currently support. If that level breaks, there's not a lot of support nearby. So that's the most important short term level. As far as resistance goes, it's 8.8. Then we're looking up at 8.95 and 8.985 in terms of resistance. So a tightening 2-minute time frame. If we break bearish, we zoom out to the 5-minute, and we're going to look to the 5-minute exponential, and then we have a 15-minute inside bar that is forming. Again, the most likely scenario is the bulls are going to have hype and momentum, which they've already seen. Keep in mind, we've already run here about 20-30% or so. So the hype has hit, the news is spread, the bulls are jumping in on that. Keep in mind that we usually see a sell the news event when the coin actually gets listed, because now the news is out and the market is pricing in this listing on Coinbase. So once we list on Coinbase, what's left? So just keep that in mind, the psychology of how that listing news has played out in the past with other coins. So that's where we stand as we head into tonight. Again, the bears are still extremely comfortable. There was a nice little oversold bounce opportunity, no huge gains. I locked in my profit very quickly after 1%, knowing that I was fighting against the trend and knowing that we just broke some key support levels. So again, we are just in a point where the bears have a lot of favor. They have the odds in their favor for clear bear breaks and likely continuation down until we see bull volume and changes of trends on the daily, weekly, and other time frames. Then we're not going to see those odds shift in favor of the bulls. So at this point, bears have complete control, and there's no doubt about that. Any way that we slice it, that's the current standpoint. And again, the fact that we saw no bullish action in cryptocurrency as the markets dumped the past couple of days is very notable as well. And it definitely puts some cracks in the theory that crypto is a hedge against stock markets and currencies. And currencies aren't dumping right now, at least the dollar is not dumping right now, but we have to see these correlations pick up if this narrative is going to be able to continue. So I appreciate you watching. Keep doing good things out there. And let's see, Iceland's all done. I don't have much here at the end of today's video. Got someone coming into town and gonna hang out with some friends and about to hit 100,000 YouTube subscribers. I appreciate everybody's support, obviously. Certainly would not be putting out this content without all the interactions with you all and the comments and the likes and the shares and learning from each other, sharing information. It's all great. So we appreciate that a lot. And I inadvertently got a fancy bottle of champagne for tonight, and it's just one more thing to celebrate. So thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow. I hope you have a fantastic day.